Do you look forward to going to the dentist? Absolutely not. You know, about 30 million people avoid going to the dentist every year because, well, they're scared. And I'm due personally. And this individual, and possibly you and many others that you know, use something called laughing gas to make your dental appointment more tolerable. So is laughing gas or nitrous oxide what you should be using? I'm going to show you right now some serious things for you to consider before you take the mask or let your child use it. Well, it's being promoted as beneficial to women who are who are pregnant and giving birth. And they're nervous, they're scared, they're in pain. And yeah, pregnancy and giving birth is a very traumatic and amazing experience. My wife gave birth to 2 amazing boys, but it was painful. She did it naturally. Kudos to her. So taking the edge off with nitrous oxide is being promoted, but it's not the right thing to do, and I'm going to show you why. So is it bad? That's the first thing. We have to figure it out because it's been around for a long time. Is nitrous oxide bad? Well, before we say it's bad, what's the purpose of it? Why do you have nitrous oxide? Why do the doctors give it to you? To take the edge off, to reduce your anxiety. That's it. Yeah, that's significant, but there are many, many ways to reduce your anxiety. In fact, there's a device called Nucalm, Nucalm, that works very, very well to reduce fear and anxiety for patients receiving any type of medical treatment. So you can look at that. But that's the primary reason why nitrous oxide is used, to reduce anxiety. That's all. Now, this statement is pretty powerful, and I will disagree with the first part. The effect is well known among anesthetists that nitrous oxide irreversibly inactivates vitamin B12. When was the last time your dentist or surgeon or doctor of any type tested you for your vitamin B12, or asked if you're a vegan or vegetarian, or asked if you take vitamin B12 supplementation prior to saying, hey, do you want some laughing gas? I can't think of one. I've been to the dentist numerous times. I gave a similar presentation to this, but it was about 4 hours long, to a group of biological dentists. None of them knew this. 0. This effect is not well known among your doctors. It is far from well known. It is well known in the science that nitrous oxide will irreversibly damage your vitamin B12. That I agree with. Here's the medical literature right here. Let's look at what it does. This is the gene which uses your active vitamin B12 in your body. When you're exposed to nitrous oxide, look at the percentage of how well the methionine synthase gene is working. It's shot. I mean, you've got about 20% in the brain and about 10%, less than 10% working in the liver. 2 days later, there's still an effect. 2 days later, the liver is still affected at about a 45% reduction in function, and the brain is still, it's recovered pretty well. But this is an environment of adequate vitamin B12 and adequate glutathione, which I'll show you here in a second. So does your enzyme work very well when exposed to nitrous oxide? No, it does not. So this is what happens here. So bear with me. So you're given nitrous oxide. This is the gene right here, which uses vitamin B12. Okay? So here's the gene, methionine synthase, that you just saw. Methionine synthase activity, reduced its function. Then here it is again. Nitrous oxide blocks this, okay? Because it damages the vitamin B12. If it damages the vitamin B12 and it slows this down, what is a known problem for cardiovascular disease, cancer, neurological disorders, and so on? I mean, tons of problems. Elevated homocysteine. So elevated homocysteine is heavily associated with many problems across the board, and that is due to a methionine synthase problem. And so you're going to the dentist or any type of other doctor and receiving nitrous oxide, it's damaging your B12 and you are causing a problem. And MTHFR also causes a problem here. And I'll show you here in a second what that means. So down at the paper, again, nitrous oxide inhibits vitamin B12 from acting as an enzyme for this and thus inhibits the cycle. It stops it. If it inhibits the cycle, the homocysteine cannot come around and go up. It builds up. This is another look. Similar thing. Here's your methionine synthase. It's abbreviated MTR. Here's your homocysteine. Here is your active vitamin B12. Methionine synthase damages it and makes it into this. It trashes it. Here it is, nitrous oxide. It slows this enzyme down. So once again, your homocysteine gets stuck and it increases and causes a lot of problems. So who's at risk? Well, the people at risk of nitrous oxide are many, including the dentists and the users themselves. The doctors are also at risk. So not just you. Look at this, 30,000 dentists and an equal number of dental assistants were complaining of neurological dysfunction. That's pretty significant. It could also be mercury, right? But there's a 4-fold greater increase compared to dentists not using anesthesia. So dentists and the dental assistants had significant symptoms of neuropathies, nerve problems when they were using nitrous oxide. So the dentists themselves are having problems. Again, the primary use for giving nitrous oxide is to reduce anxiety and also to keep the patient still, to keep you still so you can, the doctor can work faster. Reviewing the patient's history, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. Contraindications. Do not use nitrous oxide is what that means. Do not use nitrous oxide if there's lung problems, severe emotional disturbances. There's many, many children with autism who have emotional problems, and there's also a ton of adults who have emotional problems which need to get their teeth worked on. First trimester of pregnancy, absolutely. I think that one is followed. MTHFR. When is the last time your dentist asked you about MTHFR? Do you even know what MTHFR is? And this isn't even screened. They don't ask you. They don't know. In fact, the American Genetics Council, whatever they're called, are telling doctors to not check for MTHFR anymore. And it's an absolute contraindication. Vitamin B12 deficiency. These are not followed. I would like to see a 7th one on here. Giving birth, delivery, because nitrous oxide passes through the mom's blood, gets into the baby, and causes problems for the newborn baby. Neonatal brains are more susceptible to NMDA antagonism, and that happens when you have elevated homocysteine and low vitamin B12. So the baby brains are absolutely affected by this. There's a wide range of patients whom nitrous oxide may have some form of toxicity. And you might not see it right away. It might be a delay. It might be a week later. It might be a few days later. You might be more sluggish in getting out of the chair. You might just not be all there for a while. And it could actually last for years. So look back at the last time you had nitrous oxide exposures and think about it. And say, oh, yeah, that actually was pretty significant for me. There was a patient that was found to be vitamin B12 deficient, and he had nitrous oxide for 2 to 3 surgeries in the dentist. And he had significant peripheral numbness because of it. Doctors caught it, thankfully, gave him vitamin B12, took him months to recover. But at least he recovered, because if you don't catch it, you can be not mobile at all. In fact, you can be paralyzed and stuck in a wheelchair if you're not catching B12 deficiency soon enough. This could have been avoided altogether if nitrous oxide was not used. This is how prevalent this MTHFR gene is. It affects 40% of the population having a significant one. and a bit less as you go down. I have MTHFR, two of my sons have MTHFR. So it's very, very significant. I told my dentist, do not give nitrous oxide to my sons. Absolutely not. Don't do it. My kids don't need it. They sit there, they're fine, they're not scared. There's other things that we can do for them. MTHFR is highly prevalent in the population. So again, absolute contraindications in the methionine synthase pathway. MTHFR feeds into this. Vitamin B12 feeds into this. So that is why I bring up the point of MTHFR. Because if there is a known deficiency of an enzyme that supports the methionine synthase pathway, that is what MTHFR does. It feeds into it. The key points I want you to know, first of all, nitrous oxide, don't use it. Just don't use it. There's many other things that you can figure out. If you Google nitrous oxide MTHFR, there's an article at mthfr.net that you can read in full that gives you some other alternatives. And there's hundreds of comments from people who have read that article and shared their experiences with nitrous oxide as well. And I'll link to that in the notes below. And I'd love you also to comment how your experience with nitrous oxide was. Was it great? Was it fine? You rock solid? Or was it a serious problem for you? Please share in the comments below. It's going to be really handy for people to see this because it needs to be known far and wide. There are varying degrees of effect. You can have no effect to being somewhat tired for a few hours or a couple days to being absolutely in trouble. And there is a child, many children, I shouldn't say many children, there's a child that I know of who has not woken up after being provided nitrous oxide for a long dental treatment, and she was also giving another anesthesia as well, so she has not yet woken up. Hopefully that's now resolved. Side effects can be delayed, and team care. Team care. Dentists need to work with your other doctors. The other doctors need to work with your nutritionists. The nutritionists need to work with surgeons. You guys need to collaborate, okay? Nobody has all the answers. The white coat, the stethoscope, and standing on the right side of the patient, I get it. There's a lot of trust there, but you cannot put your trust in one doctor. You need a team. You need an absolute team. It's impossible for every doctor to know everything. It doesn't work that way. You need team care. Screen. Tell your doctors you have MTHFR. Show them this video. Show them the science behind it. It's here. They don't know that methionine synthase is inhibited by nitrous oxide and inactivating vitamin B12. They don't know. They need to know. So support your methylation. If you were receiving nitrous oxide, or you're vegan or vegetarian, or you're a young person, or you're growing, or for some reason you need more vitamin B12 and you receive nitrous oxide, you need B12. Get it. Vitamin B12, methylfolate, consuming protein, and supporting glutathione. Those are the key nutrients that you absolutely need to neutralize the impact of nitrous oxide. Glutathione, vitamin B12, methylfolate, and protein. If you're a carbitarian, which I know some vegetarians are, and some just omnivores are also, they just eat carbs all day long, okay? That's not gonna cut it. If you want to get full in-depth science where I walk you through how it does all these things, there's a 4-hour video here for basically $25 that will give you the access to more research, more papers, more in-depth understanding of what methylation does, how other things are affected, and there's 2 videos that are broken apart. So this is a fantastic video if you want to get more into the science. But I wanted to share this with everyone, including you, for free, because this is such a huge problem. And this is the nuts and bolts. You've got it. You've got the big picture. But if you want to get more in depth, this will help you out. Now, the genetics part of it. Genetics are a common desire for people to order. And many people have blockages. This is my son. My son has a blockage here, 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 and here. This leads into the enzyme methionine synthase, which you just saw was needed to reduce homocysteine and recycle it, which uses vitamin B12, which gets rid of the nitrous oxide, right? It helps make that system work. But if you have blockages here, here, and here, and here, and you get exposed to nitrous oxide, do you think my son would do well? Would your son do well exposed to this if he had similar genetics? Believe me, these are common. Very, very common. So order a genetic test through Genos Research, 23andMe, or wherever you want to do it. Start with MTHFR if you're scared of what genetics tells you. I get it, it can be scary. But MTHFR is a good place to start. Start there. If you want to get more in depth, you can go again 23andMe or Genos Research. And then this tool is called StrateGene. You can go to strategene.org once you get your data from 23andMe or Genos Research, and you can run this report and get your diagram that looks like this. Watch a lot of actionable information as well. Tons and tons of actionable information. We have about 900 people too in a private Facebook group sharing, collaborating, and giving research and insights to what's supporting them and what's not. So I hope this video has served you. Give it a huge thumbs up if it's helped you, and it will help you. If you're still on the fence, it will help you. And then a comment below is phenomenal. I want to hear how this is working for you. Leave a comment below and I will respond. Thank you very much.